Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to day 3 with Writing Your Ouch Story with me, Mrs. Lies. Yesterday, we were talking about our ouch stories. Have you ever had a boo-boo? We're going to write an ouch story, so think of your ouch story. I hope you enjoyed the I Broke My Trunk story by Gerald and Piggy. But let's take a look at Gerald's ouch story. In the beginning of Gerald's story, he was playing with his friends, one rhino and two hippos. So he was balancing the friends, all three friends, on his trunk. In the middle of the story, he was running because he was so proud of what he had done. He was running to go tell his friend Piggy the good news of what he had done. But as he was running, he tripped and fell. In the end of the story, he was able to go and bandage his trunk and tell Piggy the story. So this is the end of Gerald's ouch story. But we know that Piggy was so excited to tell his story that he fell and he broke his snout. So now Piggy has an ouch story to tell too. Now, I have been thinking about my very own ouch story. Would you like to hear it? Well, here is my ouch story. In the beginning, when I was a little girl, my sister and I used to love riding bikes together. Well, one day her friends came and started talking to her, and so she left me and she was racing with her friends. I was in the back trying to catch up with her. So in the middle of my story, with me trying to race and catch up with her, there was some rocks in the road. I didn't see it. So when I was riding my bike really fast, I I ran over the rocks and it made my bike flip. And when the bike flipped, I flew off and over the handlebars and into the road. I scraped my knee. I cried, and my sister and her friends, they came back to get me. So they managed to walk me back to my mom's and dad's house. And then when I got to my mom and dad's house, they realized that I needed to go to the doctor. So at the end of my story, my mom and dad took me to the doctor and I had to get stitches in my knee. And those stitches, I think there were 28 stitches that I had to get in my knee. And the doctor told me, you could never be a beauty queen with these stitches in your knee. And that was the end of my story. So in the beginning, riding with my sister. Middle, I tripped over some rocks and fell off the bike and hurt my knee. And at the end, I had to go to the doctors to get stitches. So yesterday, you should have drawn pictures of the beginning, middle, and end of your story. Today, you're going to use those pictures to help you tell your story. The beginning of the story tells who's in the story, who are the main characters in the story, and what you were doing. So here is the beginning of my story. It was a sunny day outside. My sister Pam and I decided to ride our bikes. When our friends saw us, they wanted to race. Notice that I started my story with the type of day that it was. I always try to throw the weather in because it makes it more interesting. So if it was a rainy day, a foggy day, a cold day, or a sunny day, add that as you start the beginning of your story. So in the middle of the story, this is where you tell what happened. This is the problem of the story. Okay, so I tried to keep up with my sister. I was riding so fast that I did not notice a rock in the road. I fell off my bike and scraped my knee. At the end of the story, this is where you tell how did your boo-boo or your ouch story, how did you get fixed? So if you scraped or hurt yourself, how did you fix it? Who helped you? So here's the end of my story. My sister and her friends took me home. My parents took me to the doctor. He gave me 28 stitches. He also gave me a lollipop and stickers for being brave. So today it's your turn to start writing your story. So you're going to get 2 pieces of your foundation paper and begin writing your story. On the front of one page, you'll write the beginning. On the back of that page, you'll write the middle. And on the second page, you can write the end. If you need more paper, that's fine. I love a good story. So take your time and do your best. Remember, if you have trouble with spelling, one, I'm really not looking for spelling. I'm just looking for your story. But if you must need help, or if you must use something to help spell your words, then you can go to the Google Classroom, to the word wall. There's a word wall in my Google Classroom right above the radio. And if you go to the word wall, it'll help you spell words that you might need. Okay? And you also have your green spelling dictionary, that little spelling journal that you can use as well. All right, boys and girls, have a great time writing. Now, remember, I want you to complete the beginning, middle, and end of your story, because tomorrow you will share your story in small group with your friends. Have fun.